the Republicans continue to dabble in anti-vax misinformation, except for really one. I mean, for now, this is the guy that said maybe you should inject bleach into your body. Maybe you should put a UV light in your lungs. I don't know. Maybe that'll fix COVID.
Yeah, this is a relatively pro-vax guy or pro good medical information guy, even with all that said, compared to most Republicans.
Exactly. Yeah, because then once the vaccine arrived, he wanted to take credit for it. Donald Trump. It sounds crazy, but if he runs in 2024, he will be the most pro-vaccine legitimate contender for the Republican nomination.
And what's so good about Trump and kind of what's evident here is he's not thirsty for the fans as much. Like, he has a little bit of disdain, right? He's leaving them in the cold in like Omaha, going to rallies and stuff during coronavirus.
Yes.
But and the other ones are thirsty for them, so they can't really turn away from this sort of anti-vaxxery. Trump has the independence because he doesn't really care about these people.
Well, he, as you say, he has disdain for the evangelical base that's at the heart of this anti-vax movement, the people that he thinks are behaving irrationally and are not the kinds he wants the adoration, but he really finds them to be a bit grimy. So I did not think that we would be saying that Donald Trump, of the actual people that could win the Republican nomination in 2024, would be the most pro-vax, but he is. And part of this is self-interest. He wants to take credit for the vaccine, and also because he has no patience for this garbage, where, as Matt says, someone like DeSantis, who he uses this opportunity to take a not so subtle shot at here, he has to engage in that. So here he is speaking to OAN, where he does take a not so subtle shot at DeSantis, because DeSantis may be cosplaying, as Trump. He may be the
doing my hand motions.
Yeah, right. I mean, watch that side by side. The DeSantis is trying to copy him. So he's the carbon copy, but there's nothing like the real deal, the real pure stuff. Here's Trump on OAN.
We'll get to in a second, but the other one was the vaccine. Right. You recently stated in an interview with Candace Owens, and when you were on the road with Bill O'Reilly doing the book tour and the speaking engagement, that you've had the vaccine, 2 shots, and you've had the booster. Right. And you recommend it for folks. We have seen with the VAERS report, there's tens of thousands of side effects, more side effects in this vax than any vax in history.
And more deaths.
Dr. Robert Malone.
There is no VAERS report. Yeah. VAERS is a site where people can, and there's no vetting process. Any anti-vaxxer who claims that the vaccine, made them radioactive or magnetic, they can post on this VAERS aggregating data website. There's no report. It's just a place where you can file a complaint and say, hey, I experienced these symptoms from whatever, and it's compiled there, and there's no.
And then you try to find patterns if there is some that exists. But yeah, the thing that there's so much with VAERS with the COVID vaccines, and not for say like other vaccinations, is because the COVID vaccine is the entire population at the same time, and also politicized by a political party. So there's a whole lot more awareness that like maybe this, like, people get paranoid in this environment.
Yes.
Right? And there is a limited number of things where people will have some some reaction to the vaccines, but the VAERS reports are like absolutely like I could go on there and say like the vaccine made me fly to work and now I can't walk anymore, and it'd be like, oh, look at that, that's something we need to look into. Like, let's ask
the VAERS report.
Yeah, exactly. Look at the VAERS report.
They said it. Wow. Yeah. All right, but continue.
9 patents for the mRNA technology being used in the vaccines. He came on my program a couple weeks ago and said, unless you're over 65 and have a comorbidity, I recommend it. Other than that, I don't recommend taking it. He even is upset he took it himself. He's having heart issues. Looking back, we know that Warp Speed was great. You did amazing with getting rid of red tape to get something out there.
I'm sorry.
But after now so many...
Go back to Donald Trump just staring at him, and he's just like, how am I letting this guy speak for this long without me interrupting?
Excuse me. You say heart issues. I'll have you know that myocarditis happens even more frequently with coronavirus itself. So that might have happened. And also, like myocarditis, it does happen. It can be an impact from things like the common cold. So you know what? Stop fear mongering.
Yeah, I love, I want there to be a new character, epidemiologist Trump. Okay, but he is so bored. He has not been able to talk for a full 30 seconds. Keep going.
Looking back, we know that Warp Speed was great. You did amazing with getting rid of red tape to get something out there. But after now so many months of the vaccine being administered and these side effects and Americans' questions of it, do you reconsider your push for it, or what's your view now on the vaccine in general?
Well, I've taken it. I've had the booster. Many politicians, I watched a couple of politicians be interviewed, and one of the questions was, did you get the booster? Because they had the vaccine. And they're answering it like, in other words, the answer is yes, but they don't want to say it. Because they're gutless. You got to say it. Whether you had it or not, say it. Right. But the fact is that I think the vaccine has saved tens of millions of people throughout the world. Okay. I have had absolutely no side effects. I've had it like other people have had it, nothing special. I've had it.
Do you feel for the millions of Americans that have it, though? There's over 100 million that haven't taken it yet, and they have questions, especially younger people with the myocarditis and things.
I don't think young, healthy people should take it. Okay. I don't think that, certainly these young kids, their immune system is so strong. I look at I have a son, Barron.
Yeah, so this 15. Is where
he had it. It lasted for about 2 seconds. Yeah. Okay, I said, "Oh, we've got it, Baron. You've got it." And like by the time we called the doctor, it was gone. You know, they have a very strong immune system.
Right. By the time we called the doctor, I was gone. I said, "Oh, Baron, you got it. Bye bye." No more attention paid to you.
But you see how like the way Trump's way there's nothing. Like, people say they're criticizing pharma by being against these vaccines. But at the same time, Trump is right when he says, like, this could save tens of millions of people. It'd save even more if we could all be sort of united in saying, hey, we need to extend this technology worldwide and the knowledge to how to produce it. But when you say, like, actually there's a lot of people everywhere from OAN to Jimmy Dore has questions about, like, is this actually, like, some sort of conspiracy of pharma? Then that question about extending it to the rest of the world isn't one you would ask, because why would you want to extend the conspiracy to them too?
Exactly. But it is just fascinating here whenever Trump sees an opportunity to be the alpha, that will take precedence over any of this like culture war vaccine stuff that he feels is silly and doesn't necessarily want to engage in. He sees an opportunity here to be like, DeSantis is a loser. He's not, just admit it like I did. I'm the one telling you the truth. And then you're kind of like at a throwback to 2015, 2016, where that was his whole aesthetic to the Republicans. I'm saying the real stuff. I'm not pandering to you, and I'm saying exactly what you are thinking.
Yeah, and also the idea that only people that are old, like these are probabilities, but you can really help your or really get rid of the risk that you have of being hospitalized by getting the vaccine. So yes. Even young people, even kids should be vaccinated. Exactly.
And that's not what they're thinking with the vaccine. I just meant back in 2015, 2016 when he was saying the racist stuff. But that paired with his just like big dogging of the rest of the Republican nominees on stage, that's what got him the nomination. And he's already starting there with DeSantis. Why are you so scared? Why are you a liar? It's effective. And I'm the one who took it, and I'm the one that created it. So
stop fear-mongering about myocarditis.
Just a reminder that he's good at this stuff with the base.